All right, welcome to I Am Sure Sports. I am Omar Stennett. They call me Manning's Man, and that is because I went to that institution that was founded in 1738. Life without learning is death. Wonderful interview lined up for you today. Will be around 30 minutes, so I'm going to invite you to join, to sit down, relax, and listen, and so you can learn some things about swimming in Jamaica and meet one of our excellent young swimmers who just had some good success at the Pan Am Games. We're going to meet her, also going to speak with her father, who is a coach. As usual, we want to introduce you to our channel and then just share with you some information, and then we'll get right into the interview. So just stay ready, listen to this, do the intro, and follow the instructions of what is happening and what is being said.
I am sure sports. You know me there, from coast to coast representing. I mean, I say this is righteous representing for Omar. You don't know, come get the sports over here from near and far. Boy. Me say I am sure sports, one thing me sure about. When me say sure, that me not doubt. Come get your sports, get it over here. Come subscribe, repost and share. I am sure sports, one thing me sure about. When me say sure, that me not doubt. Come get your sports, get it over here. Come subscribe, repost and share. If me not sure, that me not say it. Know who score, that me not say it. Never know no game play, that me not say it. If me never see no game, me no know who play. For your sports news, better come over here so. For your soccer news, then come over here so. If you don't love sports, still come over here so. For the day done, you a go love over here so.
So when it comes on to behavior concerning football, Jamaica is decent. I am sure that if we can get all of these things done, set in place by the end of April, it gives us enough time before the World Cup campaign. Not afraid of no Brazil, no Argentina with these crap of players. We are good enough. Remember to like, subscribe, share. Listen, comment. Let me know what your thoughts are.
All right, so there you have it. I am sure sports. Let me just introduce our guests, who are Mr. Rory Alvaranga and his daughter Zaneta Alvaranga. Welcome, Zaneta, ladies before gentlemen, and welcome, Father Alvaranga Rory Alvaranga. You're both muted. So good having you. How are you doing today?
I'm good. Good afternoon. How are you?
I'm a little warm, though I'm in Senton, because it's very difficult in this lockdown. What about you, Mr. Alvaranga? How are you doing?
Good afternoon. Thanks for having me. If warm is relative to Senton, then Portmore would be hot. I'm doing good. Thanks for having me. And Pan Am Juniors, as you mentioned earlier, is scheduled for November later this year.
Oh, the Junior Pan Ams.
Correct.
Okay. All right. Well, we're going to get some clarity on that. But first, let me just pause to say big thank you to all our nurses, doctors, and healthcare workers who daily they stand in the battlefield to fight against what is happening with this pandemic, sacrificing their life and their time, sacrificing valuable time with their families. And we want to stop to say big thank you to you and to encourage you to keep doing what you're doing. We really appreciate it. You may not hear it often, but we certainly appreciate the work that you are doing. All right. So now that has been said, tell us a little bit about Mr. Alvaranga. Tell us a little bit about you being involved in swimming. Your daughter Zaneta, how did you encourage her to get involved in swimming? What was the inspiration behind that? And the recent events that she participated in and how well she did. And then I will have Zaneta chip in at the back end of your response.
Yeah. Zaneta, well, it's Zaneta. She likes to be called Zaneta. That's her name. Zaneta actually started competing at the age of 5 years old. You go to school, enrolled her in regular swim lessons. Coach Prince said, "Boy, I don't know what I'm gonna do with Zaneta." Joined after everybody and seemed to be, blowing the feel away. I said, "Well, I'll just find somewhere." He said, "No, no, 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 no. She's going to have to join my club." To which we joined the Y Speedos. Um, if I laugh because I remember Anita's very first race. I did tell her, no matter what happens, Anita, don't stop. There was a technical problem and the starter and everything. They dropped the false start ropes. Anita throw it out the way and cannon her way down towards the finishing line. Poor baby. They gave them time to recover and she came back. After finishing last, she don't like me to say that, she came back 3 weeks later, dropped 2 minutes, off of her time and started moving up the ranks as a 5-year-old in the 8 and under category. The story went on that she set goals for herself as, beating sub 1 minute and so forth. That continued until she made her, I should say, overseas debut in Trinidad and Tobago in 2015. She then shaved 2 seconds off of a national age group record. She continued to make the Carifta team, the Central American team, every team. She has been to China for swimming. We spent 2.5 months over there on a government exchange program. She has solidified herself as the highest placed Jamaican female at the FINA World Junior Championships in Budapest, Hungary. 25th place, the highest ranked of any Jamaican female in the history of our participation. She continued with Ioana Cup records last year in Lima, Peru, and she's now shortlisted and invited to participate in the inaugural staging of the Pan Am Juniors slated for Cali, Colombia later this year. Swimming is her enjoyment. She excelled at track and field gymnastics and everything, and wanted to wean herself off of them. I kept begging her to stay there because she was too young to specialize, but she insists that is swimming is what I wanted to do. And that's where we are today with my getting involved in her swimming, becoming a coach, and advancing her performances.
Wonderful. All right, Zaneta, tell us a little bit about you. I mean, what school you attend, your age, and what event in swimming. I know they have backstroke, freestyle, butterfly, breaststroke. There may be others. So which are those events and what is that event like? And which one is your favorite? Or which two, which three, or is it all? And why do you like that particular one? And then maybe you can explain to the viewers what that event is like. What is the difference between the freestyle, the butterfly, the backstroke, the breaststroke? Go ahead.
Okay. So I go to Immaculate Conception High School and I'm 16 years old. And those that you just called the butterfly, the backstroke, the breaststroke, the freestyle, those are the strokes. So each stroke has like various distances. So you have 50, 100, 200 of all 4 strokes, and then you have 400-meter freestyle, 800-meter freestyle, and 1500-meter freestyle. And then you have the individual medley, 200 meters and 400 meters, where you swim all 4 strokes. So 400 meters where you swim 2 laps of them. I wouldn't say I really have a best stroke because I've won medals at Carifta and CC Can in all 4 strokes. And I just do all of them. I do all the 50s, all the 100s. I do the 200 free. I pretty much do all the 200s, but mainly the 200 free, and I do the 200 IM as well, which is my favorite event. I like that event because it does all the strokes, and I don't know, mixing it up is just fun for me, like just switching up the strokes.
Okay, all right. Mr. Alvaranga, do you believe that there is one that you think other coach, you think, you know what? I think this is the one that she'll have the most success in because she's superb in this particular stroke?
That's a very tricky question as her coach. Um, she currently holds regional records in the butterfly, right? She has Carifta records in the butterfly in two age groups. She have butterfly records in Central American games. She now has UANA. UANA is the United Nations of America, which includes South Central North America, though North America did not participate in butterfly. She also excels at the freestyle. Okay, 2 years ago, at the age of 13, she became the fastest ever freestyle swimmer in the Carifta region, clocking 26.34 seconds, which 25.96 is a B standard for participation in the World Championship. So she was less than half a second off of a World Championship qualifying time. Then came the pandemic. She is part of a very exclusive club to medal in all four strokes. Usually I have people specialized, but at Kaizen Swim Club, we teach swimmers, we teach swimming. And because they're age groupers, I discourage specialization. So training hard at all four strokes, you can excel at all. And that's our approach, continuous improvement throughout all strokes.
Yeah. Unlike track and field and say like soccer and some of those major sports, normally persons don't get involved in them at the Olympic or the World Championship level, major championship level, until they are probably like 19 going on to 20. That's when you begin to see them emerge. But for swimming and like gymnastics, you would see younger age groups, 16, 17, 18 years old. Are there plans for her or you as her coach to be a part of the World Championships? I think the World Championship, I don't know if when they have the World Championships of athletics, if there's also swimming involved and the Commonwealth Games. I know that the World Championship is next year. Then you have the Commonwealth Games. Then you have the Olympics. So there are 3 consecutive years of major global events. Are there plans for her to meet the qualifying standards for those events and participate and be? Now that Aliyah Atkinson is bowing out, that we have uh, at least one more female who is going to wave the Jamaican flag in swimming.
As one of the national coaches, I must say yes. And not just Zaneta. While Zaneta currently has the highest FINA point of age group swimmers going forward, there's a very good batch of youngsters, age groupers, Keto Campbell, that I coach to a senior national record while he's still a junior. There's a very, how should you say, tenacious batch now that wants to take it to the next level. And we are targeting, yes, the Commonwealth Youth, the Commonwealth Games, CAC. There's another inaugural Games, Caribbean Championship. So it's all in stage that the Junior Pan Ams now came about. We have the long course FINA World Championship next year. Qualification times at Pan Ams would get us there. So it's all these events that you mentioned are all steps in the ladder to ultimately get to the big game Olympics, which she has indicated that she wants to, give it a shot, not for me, but for her own self. And she, communicates a lot with Alia regarding congratulations and how do you stay focused. So yes, it is on the card for her to prepare herself for further competitions, higher competitions.
Yeah, and then but you mentioned Aliyah and her staying in touch and getting probably tips and advice and direction. But how have you been able to maintain form and coach? I mean, this is heading into 2 years of a pandemic. I mean, which probably for many athletes in different sporting disciplines, they could have been affected in terms of their development. How have you been able to maintain and even advance her growth in terms of time, um, affording being able to do training, online school because she's 16, with probably fifth, sixth form, that kind of age group. How have you been able to do all of this with the global pandemic and all the lockdowns and all of that thing happening? How has that been?
It's been very challenging. The pandemic, the lockdowns, everything, but I found a way to adapt to the pandemic. And last year, prior to the closure of the beach, we living in Portmore, a group of children, about six of us, used to go to the beach to maintain some aqua fitness. We talk about aqua fitness because running on land may help the muscles to keep working, but that's a panting activity, while swimming is a breath holding one. So we took to the sea, the beaches, to maintain some fitness level. When the pools reopened with COVID restriction protocols and limitations, our sessions were reduced, and still we continue to maintain the feel for the water, focusing heavily on technique. Subsequently, I realized that with a few local time trials, I had all my swimmers turning out personal best after 1 year of the pandemic. And at the Central Caribbean game, I had two swimmers on the national team, and they both turned out some further PBs on an international level. So I've learned to adapt the training, focusing primarily on technique and maintaining high intensity interval training. Our methodology is the USRPT. And yes, they have to balance it very well with their schools, because getting to the pools in the afternoon, since they are open, has been a challenge. Someone living in Sligoville, working remotely, is not going to be able to take their child to the pool for training, like if you would travel down from Campion or Immaculate or Woolmas per se. But we have adapted and learned to make less sessions work for us.
Yeah. All right. I want to make sure I get the name. If I don't get anything right, I want to make sure I get the name. Zaneta. That's the correct.
Zaneta.
Zaneta. Oh, geez. All right. I'm going to make sure. So, Zaneta, what in terms of you personally, what are the immediate goals? What is that target that you have like in front of you, that by age 17, this is one of the things I want to accomplish as a swimmer?
Well, with the reduced opportunities for meets in Jamaica, I pretty much for this year wanted to, with some countries being more open, I wanted to just like continuously improve my times and try to meet some qualifying standards for like world championships, short course world championships, and just continue to just get stronger and faster in the pool. Now that Pan Am is the only meet that I'm sure of for now. I just want to go to Pan Am, get some really good times, have a really good showing, and just see where I am against all these other Pan American swimmers.
Yeah. Um, and this is something I want to ask both of you, because the truth is, if again, unlike what we would call the traditional sports, if our swimmers don't participate at the Olympics or on the FINA circuit and do great, we really don't hear about them. Or they are not like household names in Jamaica per se. I think when you think about swimming, I think the only name that comes to mind for many Jamaicans is probably Ali Atkinson and maybe Timothy Winter. There may be other names for persons who in swimming they would know. What are some of the factors that you think is causing that? Because I've always felt like this should be one sport that Jamaica is good in. We have so many rivers, and access to the ocean. And I think like every Jamaican should be able to swim, at least have the basics of swimming because of that kind of access. But swimming is not something that gets a lot of mention, and so I suspect it doesn't get a lot of support financially. Um, Apart from you, the only other person I know in swimming in terms of coaching is probably Jackie Walters. Is her name?
Yeah, Jackie Walters. She's currently at I think it's
Yeah.
Waterloo University in Canada. But one of the things, Jamaica, I'm just gonna call figures. They're not accurate. Jamaica, let's say we have 700 swimmers. Florida have 7,000. US have 700,000 swimmers from which to pick. And part of that is that in Jamaica, my mother can't swim, so she keeps me away from the pool. And this is the fear of drowning. And the first
Good.
time I go to a teenage pool party is when I get into trouble. Um, sadly, Omar, it is termed an elitist sport, and the coaches target the preparatory schools where the people them have money and they developed the few children there. But we do have strong competitors in swimming in Jamaica. We have had Sidrell Williams throughout the years. We have had Sabrina Lynn. We have Zaneta, who holds regional age group records, participated in Budapest, Hungary. I have tried to get a little bit of media coverage for swimming to some success. And I think it's just the marketing arm of the association that needs to reach out to corporate Jamaica, because most of these CEO, their children swam in this elitist sport, and they will support, but you just need to reach out and get the support where you can get the children to more high level competitions to continue to elevate their performances. Look, if we're going to compete in Jamaica alone, these fish will outgrow the tank, and if you don't put them out in the ocean of international swimming, then they won't blossom to their full potential.
Yeah, but you also run the risk, though, I believe, of if the kids involved in swimming are at the traditional high school, the Campion College, the Woolmers, the Immaculate, um, uh, part of the tradition of those schools is that a lot of those kids end up going to the States, at least at the back end of their high school life, which means that they probably will not be involved in swimming because other priorities come into play. So how do you, I don't want to say control, because you may not be able to control it, but how do you manage that in terms of losing probably some of your best talent?
Yes, apart from those who had migration in their plan, and I said like that because a child that leaves Campion College to go to US high school did not leave here for academics, because we know our academics is above that of the United States. It would be for the swimming. But there are so many distractions over there that the swimmers go over there. We may see a marginal improvement, but later on, those that remain local tend to, get the better of them and making the national team. And sadly, those swimmers fall by the way. Their parents will remain here in Jamaica, which suggests that it's not a family migration situation. Probably, I may be wrong, probably for advancement of their swimming, which we don't see, right? Like track and field, a group of guys, they got together so we could do it locally, and they started doing it, and they got the support. I do believe that we could develop world beaters right here in Jamaica on the Rock. Okay, we need to get coaches come together, collective effort of elevating the swimmers. Once we start to produce one or two local beaters, then we will get the support. Sadly, is that only the success that will get support. Identified talent gets none, and people want to tag their name to success, not really develop the grassroots. And this is where we need corporate Jamaica to step in there and assist the program. The Aquatic Sports Association, the Jamaica Olympic Association is currently on a drive to improve aquatics.
Yeah.
This includes rowing and all the other water sports. So we just look forward to any support they can. The children need to get to bigger level competition in order to measure themselves and improve themselves, face the music that play out there, because just dancing to the one in Jamaica, you won't be able to go out there. So we do need to get more local talent developed locally to get the support, and then I think we will catapult from there. And I do believe that we have swimmers that we can take to the next level, as we have seen thus this year in the Central American and Caribbean championships.
Yeah, very very good point. Because I feel like I mean, I used to play soccer, football, and a football boots now can run you up to $20,000. That's just for the cleats, as some people would call them. We call it in Jamaica the boots. You're not talking shin guards, not talking a pair of socks, a shorts, a decent jerseys and stuff. I always felt cricket, a bat is expensive, the pads are expensive, the helmet, the ball, very expensive sport. And I've always felt like, and I could be wrong, and you can correct me, if that's so, that swimming, I mean, you really need speedos and bath suits. Like that's really the primary equipment that you need. How expensive could that be? This is the sport. This, I don't know. So tell me about, because I want to encourage people. I want to say, listen, your child will learn to swim, and this could take them to the Olympics, because I mean we're so good in track and field that there could be a good 100-meter female athlete and can't get to Olympics because the field is so loaded. There could be a good swimmer, and all you need is a bath suit, and they could be in the Olympics. Am I wrong, or is there more
You,
to it?
I was well. I'm sorry that you bring up that part. Zanita started laughing. Maybe she can tell you. The boots is how much you say?
A proper boots now is running at 20,000 Jamaican dollars.
And
Just
I'm
for the
gonna repeat your word. A proper swimsuit now is gonna run you $520 US.
okay.
So I really want some of the primary school other household to get involved in it, but I didn't want to mention the proper swimwear to get to this championship, because in these championship you have to wear approved swimwear.
Oh,
We know of an era gone by when they had some plastic suits, and America brought in these things and was breaking a number of world records that took decades to get back at. So a proper swimsuit can cost you 500 and odd, 475.
even what the men, even what I see the men, like you're telling me that thing that the men wear, that little, what I call a brief that they wear.
$300.
I don't know. Maybe we should get into that, because
Well, the training suits are a bit cheaper, like just to wear to training, but you're still gonna find suits that are like $110, $75, and that's just for training, because the 300, 400, 500 that we're talking about are
for competition.
competition suits. But for training, you're gonna have suits that are $55, $75, $110. And then you need more than one, because if you wear that one all the time, it's gonna get busted, stretched out, washed out. So you're gonna need more. So you're looking at $100, $200 for two swimsuits.
I was trying to encourage the people who live close to the YS Falls and the Cabaret River and the Black River, all of those rivers across Jamaica, to say, listen, all you need is a proper swim brief. That's what I call it, right? But here it is that
I'm gonna have to encourage them. Jamaica sells swimsuits everywhere. I've gone to St. Anne and St. Elizabeth, especially where tourists. I mean, I hope they have local discounts for our nice Jamaican people, but swimsuits are all over. Not those high prices. Those are not really necessary, because you have $20 swimsuits as well. That's not too bad. We have the sports stores out here that sell them reasonable. Doesn't have to.
And that's for training. That's for training.
And that's for training. But in competition, like I said, it's going to So based on what you're saying, if I hope you don't. I mean, I know parents, like you're the coach and you're the manager, but you're also the father. And sometimes I find it hard for all our athletes to be investing these kind of resources, and also the training to represent the country. And though the athletes get some benefit and the parents get some joy, the country gets a lot of recognition.
A sad reality, Omar, is that in swimming, and I did mention I don't like the term elitist sport. Sadly, Zaneta has been out on countless occasions, not get any support. Well, thanks to Handel Lamy on one occasion was the president. We got plane fare only to travel to the Central American Games. Her beating heart and panting breath have played the national anthem many times to glory, but this is all the Swimming Association has these things as 100% parent funding. A lot of people get angry about that kind of stuff, okay, because there are those who really have the talent and can't fund a situation like that, okay? Thank God for credit card. The ticket to Lima, Peru, where she broke the record, played the anthem, got a little media coverage. The ticket alone was $172,000. right? It's not. It's the fact that you brought in the financial part. This is where we really need corporate Jamaica to come on board and assist where these children are concerned. We do have wonderful talent in there. You know, I want to develop these children at an age group level where I can hand them off to a US collegiate system where they can continue to train at a high level and compete at a high level, because there's no other collegiate competition like that in the NCAA. And the reason for that is that America want to be number one. And if you have a good swimmer in the Caribbean, they will take them in Americas.
Okay. Okay. Listen, I always say, listen, we should not be pleading with corporate Jamaica to get involved, because there is direct and indirect benefit to the success of any athlete who represent Jamaica, because it becomes part of your branding. It brings recognition to the nation. So I'm hoping that the powers that be, the truth is, in as much as the child's success gives joy to the parent, when you represent the country, there should be funding. And I'm hoping that those who are hearing this, and that is marketing in terms of the Jamaica Swimming Association. I think that is the governing body.
Aquatic Sports Association of Jamaica. We are a signatory or to FINA. Where Supreme Venture does some stuff for track and field and football and stuff like that. In swimming, this is why we need corporate Jamaica. In swimming, we cannot have any support from alcohol, gambling, and stuff like that in our sport. So we can't go to Supreme Venture and say, hey, Supreme Venture. Okay? FINA does not give room to any organization that deal with alcohol. The Red Stripe, sorry. Appleton, sorry. We can't get support from those things. So this is where the Westinca, the Powerade, the I Am Sure, Flow, Digicel could step in.
The banks, some of the banks as well.
The banks, well, I know Scotia does something for kiddie cricket, stuff like that. This is where we need the fundraising, the marketing arm of the Swimming Association to go there and get the funds.
That's what I want to find out. Is it that, like, there's a strategic marketing plan and people are refusing? Because, like, this is I Am Sure Sports, but, I am sure that if Zaneta, right, based on our recent successes, were to be the face of the aquatic association, swim association,
Aquatic Sports Association of Jamaica, ASAJ.
Right, ASAJ, were to be the face and be the face of it, meaning the next poster that this particular bank puts up will be her doing the freestyle. Could it be that the marketing needs to be revamped and the vision needs to be cast and sold to some of these companies that listen? This is a global superstar that you're looking at, right? And the kind of income that she's going to generate for your company in 3 years. There is an Olympic Games coming up in 2024, right? In Paris, I believe it's going to be in Paris.
Correct.
In Paris. So listen, there's a Commonwealth game coming up in 2023. Listen, this is the brand ambassador. We are telling you that she's going there not just to compete. Look at her time. Maybe if that is done, could that be a way if she becomes the face of it? And that like sometimes people don't see the like we have to tell people the vision.
I challenge you and your listeners where you sit right now to plug into Google and just type Zaneta Alvaranga. With Alia Atkinson being the face of swimming for Jamaica internationally on a lower age group local level, that face would definitely have to be Zaneta. And one of the leading financiers in Jamaica, I approached him and I said, brethren, want to beg some money now. Him said, boy, Rory, so me giving us some money there. I was at a particular swim meet. And him said, listen, the way your daughter is performing, you understand? If ASAJ wants to get some funds in here, they use her as a marketing tool. Believe me, there are other good, strong swimmers as well. But your Google will show you how many Zaneta records break at ISA Championship, meets, age group championship. A lot of people don't know that age group championship records are historical things where never before has a child this age in the history of Jamaica record keeping have done this. Quite a bit of that. We also have Nathaniel Thomas on the boys' side doing that.
Yeah.
So we do have faces that we can put out there. It's about selling the sport. It's about selling the sports for what it is. We have swimmers doing a wonderful job. Hey, does Omar record-breaking feat at Carifta, does it count for anything? You know, most of these swimmers swim for the love of the sport. It's the second most difficult sport. If it was easy, a lot of people would be doing it. It's very difficult, and they stay the course. And, you know, we have to lift our hats off to these children for their pulling arms, kicking feet, and beating hearts day by day after 5:30 a.m. Most of y'all are sleeping when they're training. You know, hats off to them, and we just need the support for them to get to the next level.
Yeah. So again, so I'll say this, Zaneta. Listen, one of the things I learned, there's John Maxwell. He writes a book called The 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership, and he speaks about one of those laws is a law of buying, and in that he speaks about like when people buy into the vision. And so I've had to seek resources to help persons because I have groups that come into Jamaica to do a lot of stuff in terms of medical clinics and helping kids and helping them on scholarship. So I do a lot of that. And I think I've learned is that people have money. They like to hear, I want to help you make some money. Right? They don't like to hear, I need some of your money. So like, the objective is the same. It's just the communication. I really need your money, but I'm not going to tell you that I need your money. I'm going to help you to make some money, right? And I think because I don't want you have to in November. You shouldn't have to fund your own ticket with all the success that you have.
November will not be one such because it's the inaugural station. The Jamaica Olympic Association have already reached out. They will be funding that meet 100%. But a point to make, Omar, why also we call on corporate Jamaica through the ASAJ is that if Zaneta or any of these other swimmers are to go on to the U.S. collegiate circuit, receiving direct support from Omar will make her ineligible for participation in U.S. collegiate sport. Okay. So this is where the ASAJ gets the support and, okay, Zaneta, we'll buy your ticket to the next game. Okay. Omar, your ticket and hotel and meet fees are covered. You know, just pack your bag, let's go. That's where we want the funds into ASAJ so that ASAJ can put this towards the athlete.
Right, because then an individual athlete can't get direct benefit because it affects their
their eligibility for participation in U.S. collegiate swimming.
Is that up to a certain age, or because once you become pro, does that changes anything?
Well, if you decide to become pro while in college, you will no longer participate in collegiate events. So after your collegiate studies and career, you continue swimming, you can turn pro, and NCB, Nike, whoever, whichever swimwear want to take you up based on your advancing and catapult you to the next level. We saw Alia going to a number of competitions after the Portia Simpson Miller administration reached out and pledged X amount of million. Then came National Bakery. Then came GK Co. Rainforest. It was through those funding that she was able to go to a meet after meet after meet and break the world championship. I mean, the world records.
Record. Yeah.
As you climb the ranks, this is what you need. And we need some of this a little earlier than Alia got it, so that the Nathaniels and the Kyle
The younger
Sinclairs,
ones coming up,
the
right?
younger
Can
ones,
have
and
proper.
they can really get up there.
Yeah, and that is awesome. So you listen, you have to keep setting the trend, Zaneta, right? You have to keep raising and lifting the banner because, as your dad said earlier, success breeds more success. And then, I mean, the truth is, very few people put money to potential. Most people want to put money to success. And if they see that, it will the resources will come. I don't know, it would be interesting to find out how did Aliyah, because I remember there was a time in her career when she had to come out and basically pleaded for help. I think it was after that there was the governmental intervention. So I don't know. Maybe it was because she was in college, she couldn't get certain personal benefit. But when she became a pro, that possibly became a whole lot easier for her to maneuver. But that is awesome.
And swimming
What
is not a paid sport, Omar. Only
really?
recently, no, 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 no. You just swim for the fun of it. Only recently, 3 years ago, the International Swim League was formed, where Alia is now competing as we speak. You could get a little money.
So
You
not
just go, you just go swim, love your sport, come back home, keep training, and it's about you.
Zanita, let me ask you now, when you hear about that I could be a professional swimmer, what does that, is that something that you want to do at the because when a person wants to play football or do track and field, they start thinking Diamond League, the incentives you get for winning a medal, like all of those things. I mean, would you want to go as far as possible in swimming, knowing that financially it oh you know what is that? It is. I'm telling you,
I say that because we want to encourage others to come.
yes.
I'm giving you the real side, but we want to encourage others. I'm sure some of your listeners didn't know that from 2017 to now, all as Anita participation. She went to Budapest. We had to do fundraising and pay our part for her to compete for the black, gold, and green. Right? I, we need to come back and do a success story that I am sure or somebody came on board, hear our cry, so that other people can come, because I do believe when we look at champs and we see the primary school, the percentage of primary school children that come up through there. No primary school have a swimming pool. We need to get primary school children swimming. And this has long been my thing. Swim Jamaica was established to develop swimmers around the island. I personally have gone to Port Royal and seen children, swimmers, and spoke to them, and even to get them involved in water polo. Maybe not speed swimming because of their technique, but my passion for developing children to be the best they can be, and future Olympians will remain despite the support or not. But a greater support. I am sure. Do you want to sponsor 15 children from Halfway Tree Primary? I am willing to volunteer and teach them, but the pool fee and so has to be paid, and the transport to and from the pool. These are the kind of things that we need in Jamaica to develop grassroots swimming.
Yeah, but I think what would be good is, I mean, because a lot of persons who listen to the show, they're in the diaspora, who I know even when we discuss football, one of the things they keep on saying is if some of these associations in Jamaica had a GoFundMe page, that they would willingly give money to it. You hear that every time. People will say, why the JFF don't have that? Why the J3s don't have that? Like, could it be that, I mean, this is just an idea, because like I said, that there are several of these platforms now where people come on, I will talk to people, they'll come on and say, listen, we want to give, and if they had a GoFundMe, but I know there are some red tapes in terms of how those GoFundMe things are set up by association depending on government rules or the rules associated with the governing body for swimming or the governing body for football. But could that be an option where for grassroots development of swimming, there's a GoFundMe where regular Jamaicans, let me say that, can consistently contribute to the development, like I said, of the grassroots. Because sometimes, we say every mickle make a muckle, and sometimes it needs a million Jamaican giving $10 instead of looking for the more influential giving 10 million each or $1 million each. Is that something that could be considered? Because I know on my platform I hear people saying that, one of the things people say is that they do super chats and they'll give when persons do the interviews, and they will say, listen, I'd love to give to this person just to help in their progress and their growth. And maybe that's an avenue that the Aquatic Association needs to look at. I don't know if it is within their bylaws, though. That's the only issue.
I was about to say I'm not sure how constitutionally that would work, and even with the JOA being underneath the JOA banner, but you put it out there. It's for any one of the members listening to check it out and see about it, because I know the parents who were going to Budapest, Hungary, it was over $500,000. We did do a GoFundMe, got some decent intake from it. Then we went out to a couple of other bodies, yes. But we, the parent, did that as an association, right? I guess it's worth them looking into. We'll see. I am sure that it could work.
Yeah, and whenever you have any of those things, listen, my channel is always here. I'll plug it. I'll put it in the description. I'll run it along the screen so people, because again, a lot of times people just don't know. I am sure, like I did not know some of these things. I honestly thought, I know that the Americans and certain countries, they will have the most highfalutin swim gears, and I mean something that made them glide through the water. I don't know, like when the water hits it, it makes you move fast. I don't know, right? So I figure there are some sophisticated stuff out there. But I've always thought that if you're going to get into swimming, you just go to one of the sports stores and pick up one of those things, and you could wear that to the Olympics. I didn't know it's a possible $500,000 piece of equipment that you need. The layman out there don't know these things. They don't know that as her father and her coach, a lot of this is your initiative in terms of funding some of these trips. And with with the kind of success that she's having, people want to be associated with this. Even the simple man want to say, yeah man, I know Zaneta, when she go over there to GoFundMe, and I gave some. People want to, there's a thing about Jamaican. Jamaican like to, them say we're bossy, we like to show off. You understand me? We like to know that, boy, that when the car broke down, yeah man, I passed out there, and when they were changing the tire, I was fanning the man changing the tire, That to him is a big accomplishment, because this is some global person. I really think that most people want to know that they have some association with a global ambassador. And Zaneta and many other swimmers, they have the potential, and the trajectory of their life is that this is where they're headed. And maybe we need to find a way of inviting people to be a part of this journey.
You mentioned Alia, and to me, maybe Alia will not do another Olympic, but I personally think that Alia has more in her belt. We saw her winning about a week ago, was it, Zaneta? Or a little over a week ago. We saw her in Naples, Italy at the International Swim League, currently underway, winning. But we do definitely need to be getting these children another rung up the ladder, so that the changing of the guards, the passing of the baton can take place smoothly. And at the next Olympic, we have, at least 4 representatives there. It can be done. I am sure with good support, we can get this done.
I believe that. And this is also being aired on Irie Times TV, which is out there in Florida in the diaspora. So there are Jamaicans out there now listening and watching this who um, I hope they can contact the Aquatic Association and give some support to the association. But Zanita, let me ask you, I mean, you're a swimmer, and I mean, every time you go in the pool, your hairstyle get messed up. I mean, how how do you cope with stuff like that? I mean, you can't even do your hair. I mean, maybe you can't even do your nails. You understand me? Yeah, people say like, boy, like Ilian.
Well,
Oh, your father said put up.
yeah,
Oh,
but they're done now. But if it was a competition, I couldn't because a $525 suit, once the nail touches it, will tear. So for competition,
oh,
nails is a no. But for now, I can't.
and even your hair, right? You can't. You can't.
My hair, I do, I do styles, but I try to make sure my styles can fit under my cap.
Okay.
So my hairdresser, she kind of just understands that whatever I do, it has to fit under the cap. But more while I just put my natural hair in a protective style and put it up in a ponytail, put it under the cap, just try to keep it from pulling too much underneath the cap. Just tuck it away as quick as possible. Neat to I put my products in after to keep it from getting too frizzy when it gets wet. Just anything to keep it healthy, not really stylish but healthy.
Okay. All right.
So for those here girls who believe that swimming is not a thing, I saw something coming out of Britain the other day. Black girls can't swim or why they don't swim, and one of the things that came up was the hair. So for those listening, um, the hair is not a factor. You can come out and swim.
Yeah. So this is one of the reasons why I saw that thing about black girls can't swim enough. That is why Zanita, you need to go on the global stage and and be winning some medals at major championships, right? So people can say, "Hey, I've defied the odds." You didn't think this were possible? Remember Zanita Alvaranga. All right. So you have to do that for Jamaica, for the Caribbean, and for every black girl across the world who has been told. I think there was an American
Yeah,
at the
Simone
Olympics.
Manuel. Simone, I think
Simone
there
Van,
was another one.
yes,
I don't
and
remember
she
her
and
name
she shared a
now.
story, and I think it was on
Yeah.
NBC or CNN
Yeah,
about how they were told that she couldn't swim, but she did well. She even medaled at the Olympics
not this time around, but last time, yes. And I think she had or has the world record for the
in some event. Yes,
freestyle. So yeah.
yeah, very interesting story how she came into swimming as well. So, Mr. Alvaranga, I started out with the lady first, so I'm going to give um you the last word. So, Zanita, is there anything that you want to say to Jamaica, to the people out there listening, to either to corporate Jamaica, in terms of your career, or you may want to encourage other swimmers? I don't know. The floor is yours, and then I don't want Mr. Alvaranga to get in any problems. There's a meeting that's supposed to take place, and we're about to pass time. And I want to ensure that I don't get him in any problems, lest he has to sleep without the AC on and the fan on. So go
Mhm.
ahead, Zanita, and then Mr. Alvaranga, you'll have the last word.
I think what swimming in Jamaica, and not just swimming, you have other minor sports like volleyball and tennis and badminton. What it really needs in Jamaica is just Jamaicans to look at them, come out and support. I used to have to beg my friends at school to come to my swim meets, and one time one of them came and she's like, "Oh, this is so cool!" And then when we went back to school, because we did swimming in school, she actually wanted to learn. Because before she just did what she had to do to get her grade and walk across the pool and come out, and she eventually came, and she said, "This is cool," and she would like to swim. You have many people that want to do volleyball outside of school and they don't know where to start. It's just for schools to encourage the students to do it, and the students go home to their parents and say, "Mommy, Daddy, I want to do this." And for corporate Jamaica to be able to fund it, because sports in America, it's so popular. Like almost every child in America has done a sport because their parents don't exactly have to spend that much on it. I'm not saying they don't, because I know the Gabby Douglas story and all sorts of people whose parents work two jobs to pay, coming from the hood, have to take two buses. But if they had the funding, it would be more encouraging, and then they just feel a sense of accomplishment that they're doing something that they love and someone is seeing their potential and funding it. So it's not like you're just getting paid because you're victorious now, but you were seen as potential and someone supported you. So I think the support and the encouragement of Jamaicans will go a far way in swimming and other minor sports.
Thank you, Zanita. Looking forward. I hope when you go to the World Championships in 2023
There's one next year. There's a
next year.
staging next year, long
All
course,
right.
yes.
I believe that you're going to qualify. And
Thank
you,
you.
yes. And it's going to be a good experience. And I hope you'll come back and share the experience with us. All right. Mr. Alvaranga, the floor is yours. Who you want to
Um,
speak to? You want to
Well,
speak to other
to
swimmers?
corporate,
Yeah.
it's even to the hotels. As a community service, if they could allow instructors to teach some children in their pools, it may not go well with the aesthetics of their guests. A lot of people don't know that the Olympics is open with swimming. Why? Because swimming is the
Yeah.
second most viewed sport outside of track and field. So Olympics is always open with swimming, unknown to many. And it is a popular sport. It's not minor sport as we want to term it in Jamaica. It's just another sport. We need to develop more swimmers through the rivers, through the hotels, through the pools, and get the support to get these children to the next level. Swimming is a fun sport. Work every muscle in your body. Non-impact for those people with joint issues, and just support swimming in Jamaica, corporate Jamaica, and because we have a nice talent pool. We had 8 swimmers that we sent their name for Joanna. We only got 5 slots, but we have more than the 8 also that are poised to take it to the next level. And we just look forward to some more support in getting these children to the World Championship level.
Awesome. All right. So there you go. Mr. Rory Alvaranga and Zaneta Alvaranga. I told you that I'd get the name right before the show ended, and I am sure that my last 4 pronunciation have been spot on. All right. So I want you to look out for her. I just want to encourage others out there about swimming. Earlier this year, I heard Hansel Parchment, and he did an interview, and he spoke about he wasn't on the track doing a lot of hurdles event, but he was doing swimming to prepare for the Olympics. And many people thought like he was crazy to be doing swimming to prepare for the hurdles at the Olympics. And so when I heard that, I said he was going to win the gold medal. And people laughed at me. And I said he's going to win it because the issue he has is not the technique of hurdling, is the working of his muscles. And swimming was going to help in all of the muscles that he would need for hurdling. You will recall that at the Olympics, Hansa Parchment won the gold medal, surprising everyone. So there are great health benefits to swimming, and it works in terms of helping you even with other sporting disciplines. And so,
Omar, on another point, even in the pandemic, I want people to know that swimming is a safe sport. Uh, Pools are usually at a minimum of 2 parts per million with the chlorine, and a pool at 2 parts per million kills COVID. Okay. 3 parts per million or above, even the gases of chlorine that hover above the water kills the chlorine upon impact. It's a safe sport. You get your children out, practice social distance on land when you're not in the pool, and you're good to go. We have a number of children now swimming in the mornings, 5:30, and in the afternoons, and we have not had one case since last August of the COVID-19. Swimming is a safe sport. it's also a life-saving sport. You take it on
Yeah,
as a life-saving sport where you can save your life and another, and then the competing is just a side effect of that.
yeah. You can be lifeguard, all of those things. But I will also, here's what I want to challenge you. I always want to give my guests a challenge, and I've challenged Daniel, Zanita, sorry, and I'm going to challenge you, Coach Alvaranga. All right. In developing anything, coaching is important. And so I hope that you are so qualified that you can be a coach of coaches and at least have 14 coaches, highest high level coaches. That means we have at least one in every parish in Jamaica. I think that's something that we need to look to. And I want to challenge you to challenge the powers that be to let that
There
be your next target.
there is a program, Swim Jamaica, that was created to get Jamaica swimming. My thing is that a coach impact more young people life in a year than the average person does in a lifetime. So being with these children, I not just teach them about swimming, it's about being champion in the pool and champion for life. And Swim Jamaica has instructors out there. I know Manchester had, St. Elizabeth had. It's just for Swim Jamaica to get this program up, can give them a nudge again and see about getting instructors out in each parish, because floating pools out on the ocean is also an option, which is far cheaper than building a pool with electricity pump and stuff like that. It is done around the world and it can be done in Jamaica.
Yeah. All right. Thank you guys so much for your time. All the best. All the best. Looking forward to a splendid career. Aliyah has done some things. She has set a bar. Zanita, I hope you'll take that bar even higher, and that you'll be an inspiration to persons from Moran Point to Negril Point, those all across. Like I said, every young woman in the Caribbean that thinks about swimming will remember you. I know we have other Caribbean nations that have swimmer. You have been doing well. Keep up the good work. Keep working hard. I always tell people, you reap what you sow, you reap more than you sow, and you reap later than you sow. And so the work that you're putting in now, you're going to reap more than you're sowing, and you're going to reap later than you're sowing. A year may pass, and you don't see anything. 2 years may pass, but you can rest assured that if you keep putting in the hard work, in the long run, you'll reap great success. So keep that before you, and support is coming. And again, thank you so much for your time. It was such a joy um, talking talking to both of you. I can tell that you resemble your mother. So, so
It's
let's.
actually my grandmother.
Oh, your grandmother. All right. On your mother's side, right?
Nope.
She's just finding a way to give her coach and father some credit for her look. So that's reasonable and fair enough. But thank you so much.
Thanks
Enjoy
for
the rest
having
of your
me.
day, and we're looking forward to having other conversations with you. At any point, if you feel like, listen, Omar, this is happening, and we need to get it out there, you just call me, and the platform is yours. All
Thanks for
right.
having us.
You're welcome. You're welcome. All right. So there you go, people. Rory Alvaranga and Zaneta Alvaranga. Remember the names. Look out for the success that is coming. And we speak to you, Jamaica, home and abroad. Find a way. Um, give support. Right. It may not be one of the traditional sports, but you have to be able, as leaders, to see and have vision. Sight is good, but vision is way more important, because not everyone who has sight has vision, and there is something bigger right now than what you're seeing, and that means that you have to have vision to see it. And if you capture the vision, you'll be a part of the success of Zanito, not 20 years from now, but in the near future, as she excels globally in swimming. I don't know if it will be the butterfly or the freestyle or the breaststroke, um, but she's going to have good successes. I am sure. Again, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and if you'd like to reach out to help in any way, if you put that in the comment section, of course I can arrange for you to speak with Mr. Alvaranga so that that dialogue can start and he can connect you with the Aquatic Association of Jamaica.
Correct.
Aquatic
Aquatic
Association.
Sports Association of Jamaica,
ASAJ.
ASAJ.
ASAJ. He will connect you with the ASAJ. All right. So God bless you, people. Please stay safe. Social distance. When you use your hands, you wash them. When you touch hands, you wash them. All right. Wear your mask. All right. Here's the final thing. When you see a nurse, just say thank you so much. When you see a doctor, just say thank you. All right? Because they're out there doing work that we are not able to do, preserving life and putting their own lives at risk. God bless you. Have a wonderful day. And that's our show today. I am sure that Zaneta is going to be Jamaica's first Olympian gold medalist in swimming. I am sure.
Thank you. And thank you for having me.
Wonderful. You're welcome.